Greetings, people of the internet. It is I, Walsallmatt, for the first podcast, and in today's unique episode, seen or heard nowhere else on the internet, this is me talking about biscuits, cookies, the little things that you dunk into your tea or your coffee, or indeed you're one of these weird people that just dunks it into milk. We'll be talking about them. Seriously, I want to talk about biscuits, so we're going to talk about biscuits. And then there's going to be my little sort of observations on real-time films, which are the Doctor Who spin-offs, as orchestrated by Mr. Keith Barnfather, who I just met at Hooverville, and he was amazing! And other than that, anything that seems to leap to mind as I get there. So, here we go for the Walsallmatt Podcast. So, biscuits. Yeah, you heard me right. This is the kind of thing that you're going to get from me, is basically the things that nobody ever talks about. I mean, when was the last time that you went onto the Big Finish podcast and you heard them talking at great length about biscuits? I mean, there was some drama some time ago when they were all talking about crisps. I was there, man. You were there, man. You were there. I was there, man. And it's a case of, if a man wants to eat crisps on his podcasts, let him eat crisps, you know. But I'm not here to talk about crisps. I'm here to talk about biscuits. And do you know which biscuits I really like? I mean, the ones that I really like. I like bourbons. If you, like me, like bourbons, then you are more than welcome here, friends. You are more than welcome. I don't know, they are just so... They are so yummy. I like custard creams. Don't get me wrong, I do like custard creams, which is like the sort of the cousin of the bourbon. But I don't know, the custard's very... You have too many of them, you get that sort of clawing effect on your tongue, and you can't eat too many. But with bourbons, I don't know what the recipe is, but they have made it so ridiculously Moorish that I could go through a packet like that. So it's one of the things that I've sort of had to deny myself as I'm on this massive gym weight loss thing, is to not eat bourbons. But when supermarkets make them ridiculously cheap, you just go, just one packet, can't hurt. And then next thing you know, you've bought a shelf and you're sitting there just recontemplating your entire life surrounded by bourbon biscuit wrappers. Trust me, that's happened. I love hobnobs. Anybody here love hobnobs? Shout up. Who here loves a hobnob? Who here likes a chocolate hobnob? Who here just likes saying hobnob? I shouldn't laugh at my own jokes, but, you know, I wouldn't even say it's a joke. Hobnob. When did you think they came up with these names? That's what I want to know. Where did they come up with these biscuit names? You know, bourbon. You know, it's sort of like a close derivative of bourbon. So was the man who made bourbons on the piss when he discovered them? He was just sort of really peckish and just got 2 chocolate biscuits and just went near with some sugar icing or something in the middle and just think, by Jove, I've got it! I've got it! I mean, millions have probably been made from bourbons, but who the hell came up with the name hobnob? You know, it's hobnob. I mean, you can have great majesty as well, hobnob. I mean, you can say bourbon, and that would sound magnificent, yes, especially if you are Tom Baker. Ah, well, yes, Tom Baker does biscuit names. Ah, let us begin, shall we? Yes. Would you be a dear past the bourbons? Yes. Ah, magnificent, I shall have a custard cream. Yes. Or how about a jammy dodger? Oh, wait, wrong body. But of course, who could forget the majesty and the awesomeness of Hobnob! Yes. Sharda doesn't stand a chance against the hobnob. Yes. I'm back in the room, back in the room. Oh dear. Oh dear. It's time to take it's time to take the magic pills. Okay, I'm good. Now, I like Jammy Dodgers as well. I do like them. The thing is, I find official Jammy Dodgers. Does anybody else think that they are remarkably stale biscuits? You know, you crack them open and the jam smells absolutely gorgeous. It smells like candy floss to me, you know. But then you bite into one. But I like a biscuit that's got a bit of crunch to it. And I find Jammy Dodgers to be very, very soft, near soggy, you know. So I'm just like, doing that isn't doing it. I don't know. And then you go to a supermarket or anywhere, and you get the supermarket's own brand, which usually comes with cream inside as well. But the biscuit is shortbready, and you dunk it, and it's what lusciousness is this? Num 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 num. So, you know, to case of, I think this is probably why Matt Smith, when they did the Victory of the Daleks, is that he wasn't actually holding a Jammy Dodger. He was actually holding one of those jam cream lookalikes. You know, a lot of people think that it's a Jammy Dodger, but go back and look at it. It's actually a supermarket own brand, and I could be wrong. It might even be Tesco's. It could be Sainsbury's. I dare say, you know, I don't think Waitrose would do their own branding, you know, in case they're too posh for us. We couldn't possibly do our own brand. That means we'd have to sell it at half the price. We might as well just charge half the price and then twice the price because we're Waitrose, don't you know? Ah! And that's just what I think that, you know, the people who work at Waitrose, that's what they sound like. If I'm wrong, you know, don't discourage me because I'm on a roll here. Shortbread as well. Now, I love shortbread, but I have a tendency, if I have too many, it gives me indigestion because it's all butter. It's all butter. It's all butter, Marty. Ha ha. And I love a biscuit that you can dunk. I'm not actually a dunker. I'm a wader. So you pop it in, and then you sort of stir your tea and your coffee with it. You know, you do that sort of wading motion, whereas other people are sort of like dunk and in, and they're very quick dunkers. Or there is people who will swish, but I wade. I sort of do this thing where I just make it swim, and it's all saturated, and it's in one go, and then and the thing is with biscuits, unless you're going to some sort of social gathering and they're handing out a tray of these things, that's the only time when you're actually polite with biscuits, you know, and somebody offers you a biscuit. Oh, thank you, I'll just have one. But if you're in your own house, you know, with a mug of tea the size of your head, you know, you might as well just say, oh, I'm having everything. Nom, 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 dunk, dunk, swish, swish, nom, nom. And then you go, oh, I feel so bad, but I feel so good. And that is just biscuit. And then you get into the very British conundrum of what do you call a cookie? Me Cookie Monster, me love cookie. But in UK, they only call cookie. They also call cookie biscuit, whereas in US, biscuit is not cookie. Cookie is cookie, and etc. etc. And that's the curious thing. It's a case of why did they make the differentiation to call them cookies in America and then biscuit over here? I never understood that. That's something I really want to. There's not many factoids in this podcast. I will tell you this. It's just me basically thinking aloud those things that we nerds and we few will actually think at 3 a.m. You know, you ever sort of lay there thinking, what the hell were they doing when they came up with the bourbon? You know, what process of logic was it that made them think hobnob? You know, these are genuine thoughts that people have had at 3, 4 in the morning. You know, and I'm one of them. And it just it does make you wonder. But I'd love to know, what are your favourite biscuits? So here and now, I'm going to say Walsallmatt's favourite biscuits are the Bourbons, followed closely by the milk chocolate hobnob, because he likes saying hobnob. I like cookies as well. I like chocolate chip cookies. I much prefer, if you talk about brands, I like the Maryland cookies because they've got a crunch to them and you can dunk them. But whenever I used to be able to get them, I used to really like Millie's cookies because they used to be at every single train station ever, but you only ever found these things in a train station or a very, very expensive sort of supermarket. And you sort of wonder, you smell and you're just thinking, oh, where's that coming from? And how could such a wonderful smell be coming from just a tiny little stand? And I used to get every flavour imaginable, and you used to be able to get banana toffee and strawberries and Christ knows what else. And I used to buy boxes of these things and eat them all myself. There was a no-share policy. I've had to really put that to rights over the years, I'll tell you that for nothing, because otherwise my weight loss program would be pretty much useless. So yeah, sort of Millie's cookies are the my ultimate downfall. This is why if I ever see them again, I don't even know if they're still around. Are Millie's still around? It's one of those things that you used to see them all the time at train stations, and then all of a sudden they just sort of fade into obscurity. You know, did they become something else? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I've got to find out now. Did Millie's survive the recession? Wow. Now that's sobering. It's a case of, you know, Millie's might not be around anymore. They might not be milling about. Milling about. You get it. Oh, please yourself, you miserable bastards. And now onto something a little more weighty. Indeed, not just Matt rambling on about biscuits, but, you know, I felt that ramble needed to be had. And I might even return to it. In fact, I'm pretty sure I'm going to return to it because I drink a lot of tea, I eat a lot of biscuits, so trust me, we're not done yet. That one will be back. But anyway, now on for the second portion, which is probably, I would say this is going to be a little more serious, but I can't guarantee anything, is me talking about Real-Time Films, the Doctor Who spin-off company, and of course the people who brought you the sci-fi convention panel on your TV screen. Yes, Real-Time Films, these people, led by Keith Barnfather, these people have been making Doctor Who spin-offs and the Mythmaker tapes, which pretty much a sort of documentary type, tape-long interviews with people in Doctor Who primarily. I think they've done a few non-Doctor Who, but not many, but it's primarily Doctor Who. And it's pretty much the idea was people who couldn't get to conventions and get to see these wonderful, wonderful, wonderful people live could actually buy these tapes and listen to their stories. And I watched a few of them, and I think the Mythmakers series are really, really good. My favourite Mythmakers to date has got to be the Pat Troughton one. They did one about Pat Troughton, and that was fascinating. I watched that over and over and over again. And I like the Telos book one that they did with David J. Howe, of whom I have met as well. I've met David J. Howe, I've met Keith Barnfather, absolutely top blokes. And recently I went to, where are they? They're actually over here. There we go. I'm actually doing this live in front of the microphone. I went and bought, yeah, here we are. I went and bought the Mind Game Saga, Deimos Rising. That one is awesome. Oh, and The Daemons of Devil's End, which is a box set which has The White Witch of Devil's End, with dear Damaris Heyman playing Miss Olive Hawthorne. Oh, the darling! I loved her in The Demons. Wasn't she just rock and roll, man? You know, it's a case of to clobber somebody with her handbag and she takes out a crystal ball. I mean, if it wasn't for BBC censorship, there should be just, someone with blood and a cave skull on this pub floor. But she coshed this bloke with her reticule. God love her. And, they did the wonderful, she came up with, Olive Hawthorne came up with the wonderful name of the Great Wizard Queequeg. And in my pagan studies, if anybody says, Matt, what is your wizard name? I am certainly going to call myself the Great Queequeg. Oh dear. But anyway, real-time films. If anyone's never been sure about who these guys are and what they do, trust me, they do Doctor Who spin-off dramas, and they did Wartime, Downtime, Mind Game Saga, White Witch of Devil's End, Deimos Rising, I'll put those down there, and many, many more. They did the Myth Makers series, they did Myth Runner, and I could go on forever how many they have done. They've done so much work, and they basically do all the things during the time when Doctor Who wasn't around. We thought Doctor Who wasn't going to come back. This is leading sort of 89 through to 2005. Essentially, and that includes 1996 because 1996 was, for anybody who was there, was a very unusual time. Yeah, we got the TV movie, obviously, but there was no certainty at all. So it was a time when fans were very bereft of entertainment, and we wanted our own thing. And Keith Barnfather, not in conjunction, more like not what's the word I'm looking for? Basically, Keith Barnfather was doing the real-time stuff and Bill Baggs was doing the BBV stuff. And I'll talk about BBV at another time. But I think they were doing it in tandem and in conjunction with each other. So there was stuff coming out all the time. And it was really, really good because a lot of these dramas took characters from Doctor Who. So you got... I literally, last night, I watched Mind Game Saga. And this is the one I'm actually going to talk about as a proper example of what real-time is. And it starts off a Sontaran, a Draconian, and human all walk into a cell. And they even say, this is probably something dead serious or the start of a really bad joke. It stars Sophie Aldred, who is, be still my nerdy heart... and then you've got John Wadmore, Tony Aspin, and you've got Miles Richardson, and it's just such a good. It's very theatre-like. If anybody here likes theatre work, it's all set in literally one or two locations. It's like a cell and a control room, And this is for Mind Game as well, because there's two films. There's Mind Game and the Mind Game trilogy. And Mind Game is where these three characters meet up for the first time. And by the way, spoiler alert! Because no one ever, everyone says, "Oh my God, spoilers!" So if you haven't watched it, go away and watch it, and then come back. Okay. Are you done? Good. Okay, so... And the story is very, very simple. Three of these mighty beings of the universe are brought together, basically charged with kill or be killed. And the last one standing is deemed a worthy ally for this mysterious alien race to conquer the universe. Very, very simple. And then you got the dichotomy of what the Draconian would do and what the human would do and how the Sontaran would react. And the Sontaran really does find himself in the most awful position because it's not just I am a Sontaran, I shall fight. It's a case of he has to probably think for the first time in his life, and it frightens him to death. And then you got the Draconian played beautifully by Miles Richardson, who is known in big finish circles as Cardinal Braxiatel, played by the suave, smooth as silk motherfucker himself, Miles Richardson, who I really want to meet, because this guy is practically Bond material. He really is. He's a proper English gent, and the voice. Oh, just read the phone book to him, man. Read the phone book to me, Miles, because I will just sit there and listen to it. I really will. And you have Sophie Aldred, who plays someone who might or may not be Ace. It's very tongue-in-cheek as to whether she is or if she is not. And there's a couple of loving nods, I'd say, to the past of Doctor Who in her character, but at the same time, is it Ace? Is it really not? Who knows? So we get through Mind Game, and there's a lot of to and fro-ing, and they learn how to sort of join forces and fight this alien being, and they escape. And then we get into the Mind Game trilogy, which follows the aftermath of that film. And this is the real kicker for me. It's the fact that you'd think that this would all end beautifully. Nothing, and I kid you not, nothing in these two films ends well for anybody. This is not a light-hearted, happy, floaty, la-la spin-off drama. This is really, really heady stuff. This is, the Sontaran has a complete crisis of faith, learning that there is more to war than just fighting. There's more to it than just having a battle and a glorious death for the Sontaran Empire. He sort of starts thinking things that he himself sort of admits that he should never ever think, and it's beautiful. It's like they actually went in and they thought about what goes on inside the Sontaran's head. And, it is extraordinary. And I was absolutely hooked, I tell you. And then you have the episode with the Draconian. And Miles Richardson played this very Shakespearean Draconian, who is actually, after the film, we don't know what happened, is that he started shouting his mouth out. Being a noble of Draconia, he really shouldn't have, and it basically ended up in him being exiled, which to a Draconian is worse than being executed. And it is just, I would love to have seen this on stage. I would love to have, even if they just did it at a Doctor Who convention, I would have killed to have seen this on stage. This would have been a beautiful, beautiful stage show, and it would have fetched a crowd of thousands. I'm just saying, but that's just me. And luckily, we have it on video, so I can watch it on any time I like. Video. Oh, you can tell how old I am. DVD now, but I did have the video. But I haven't watched it since I had it on video. It sort of sat on a shelf, and then when I bought the DVD the other day, I watched it back, and so we're talking a couple of good years before, I watched it again. And it's an extraordinary, extraordinary piece. Now, this is what I'm going to say, and I'm going to say this a lot about Doctor Who spin-offs. The Keith Barnfather films, Deimos Rising specifically, but including Mind Game Trilogy, and any of them. If anybody here is at uni and doing video and TV production, go and watch the real-time dramas. They are pretty much the epitome of what a good, basic, low-budget film should actually look like. Mixed with modern techniques, you could come out with something extraordinary. These things should be essential viewing for any university student, for any college student, hell, for any media studies student. I just think these things should be shown as, as a case of, this is what you should be doing. This is what you can do on a budget of zero and some spit and bloody mindedness, and I I live or die by that, because that's exactly what I did. When I watched these, I was at uni, and they helped me so much. They gave me so many good ideas, and I came away with a wonderful grade. You know, it was just really good times, and it was really exciting to make something in that vein, inspired. And I since went to Keith Barnfather himself, and I just said, you know what, this is all your fault. But I thanked him, and, you know, love him adoringly for it. I really do. Oh, so the basic ramble of this is that the Real-Time Films spin-off dramas, really go and watch them. 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 Go watch them. Go watch them. I will be talking about BBV at some point, but I'll probably be saying exactly the same, although there are some examples that are less than laudable for BBV. Real Time has been consistent. They have never let anybody down, ever, ever. I mean, seriously, they are absolutely stupendous stuff. And, yeah, that's my bottom line on it. You know, it's a case of, you know, Real Time and Keith Barnfather and everybody, woo! Rock on! Yes! And that is it for the first of the Walsallmatt Podcast. If you like what you've heard, I'm on YouTube. Just go onto YouTube, search for Walsallmatt. You will find me. If you want to follow me on Instagram, I'm on Instagram. Find Walsallmatt, I'm on Instagram. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I'm on Twitter. Just look up, you've guessed it, Walsallmatt. I have only one sign-in name because practically I am very unimaginative in that respect, and I didn't want to remember 20-odd sign-in names, so I thought, you know, it's Walsallmatt or bust. Ooh, that's good. I'm going to get that on a t-shirt. Walsallmatt or bust. Anyway, till the next podcast, everyone, enjoy yourselves, take care, bless you, and bye-bye.